Yeah, so the question is, obviously, everybody's got the buzzword about agents, AI agents. And the question is, to what degree do we see that being implemented? So Corbeau, as a project management, project success focused advisory agency, we do get a lot of questions about that from our clients. It's hard to know fact from fiction or even how far we've evolved. Right? There are clients who, are, we'll say, maybe taking their time in regards to not even explore or not even adopting AI, but exploring it, and that's totally fine. And there are those who hear the term agent and they think you can come in, set something up, click a button, and you've replaced your entire accounting department or something like that. Now, of course, I'm exaggerating, but obviously there are various levels of interest. But as far as practicality, I think most folks find that they're not yet aware of what it takes as far as the cultural transformation that comes with it. From a Corbeau standpoint, both for ourselves and what we advise our partners, don't think of it as a way to increase productivity per capita per se. So we don't want to think of human beings as, oh, well, now my team can be 2x as productive. And so, you press your thumb or you keep your foot on the accelerator. I think what most leaders need to be aware of is that yes, the technology can go as fast or as far as you can afford to bring it, but you want to bring your people with you. And the reason you want to do that is scales of economy only go so far if you have one capable project manager or team lead using an agentic solution, Claude Code, Gemini, what have you, maybe to automate some of the more mundane, repeatable, predictable, reliable tasks. But you want to be able to do that for 5 of your folks, right? You want to be able to do that for teams of 5 of your folks and things of that nature. That's really where the scaling is. And I go back to that statement about you're not making your team member individuals become twice as productive or 3 times as productive. What you're doing is you're empowering them to be agentic managers, if you will. And I know this is cliche, and it's the closest analogy is you're empowering your project managers and team members to have these agentic employees, in quotes, right? They need to have the business savvy, the skills, they need to recognize the pitfalls of when they set up automations to accelerate business processes, standard operating procedures, and then, of course, those subsequent outcomes. They still need those years of institutional experience to QA the outputs, right? I would argue that outputs are no longer the constraint, right? You can get, to use an analogy, a Ferrari. If you want to go as fast as you want, that's certainly possible, right? But without the right training, without the right racetrack, without pit crew, or whatever it is, however you're going to use it for top speed, you've got to bring that organization with you. And I think, I don't want to say that there's an incorrect assumption that people think they can just, install Claude Cowork or Claude Code or start doing vibe coding with their employees and things are just all magically going to get done faster. That's not really the case if you have a bunch of individual performers that aren't fully aligned in an orchestration for the organization, the good of the team. The last part I'll say about that is, the analogy is it's like having one star player, like a LeBron James on your basketball team. And the other 4 players are great too, but we're not coordinated as a team towards that singular goal, right? Is it to win the quarter? Is it to do full court press? Is it to be a defensive heavy for part of the game to tire out the other team's offense, right? You need to coordinate what it is that your near term as well as your strategic objectives are. You've got to do that with a cultural shift. So we do see a lot of interest in it. We do apply it, but you've got to bring the team with you. It's not as simple as, hey, take this training course and go be 2x productive. Oh, this is one of my favorite questions. So the question is, from a standpoint of practicality, really, what do we see these AI agents doing to make life more productive? Again, with the caveat of productive meaning balanced and focused, right? High value outcomes and work. So I'm maximizing the institutional knowledge and the capability of my team members by using agentic AI. I am not maximizing, in the 8 hours or, hey, now they can do 16 hours of work in 8 hours, right? It's not necessarily just volume by itself. So there has to be that balance. So I wanted to caveat that. But I think what's really exciting, I mean, gosh, we're already in March, 3 months now, and the AI models have matured so much that they automatically now do agentic orchestrators and launch subagents for research and side activities. They'll run tests, they'll run smoke tests while they're developing in another thread, and they'll iterate with one another. Now, why that matters is a regular Joe Schmo like me who just needs the monthly financial report, I can start to get to the point with an agent where I say, I'm ready for my financial report, and it references historical information or skills. And it's going to test the numbers, it's going to sanity check them because it's worked with me enough to learn what my institutional knowledge tells it to check for, those esoteric things specific to me, my organization, and my team, right? So it's going to assemble it much faster. I can engage with it, almost like, the analogy I've been using is Alexa in the morning. Hey, Alexa, what's the weather today? What's the news today? What's my calendar today? It's getting closer to that. But the thing that really excites me most about this, at the rate things are progressing in 2026, is I could see by end of year that agentic AI is going to take us to a place of truly getting what we want from a destination standpoint. Right now, for most of us, our work is I get an email from a team member that needs something, and then a bunch of people reply to it, and then I've got Jira tickets or ClickUp tickets or action items I've got to do on the side, and I've got phone calls, and I've got meetings, and I've got meeting notes. And all of those things can be recorded and automated and all that. But the end game is going to be, what do I really want to accomplish? And it could be an inbox triage engine that's watching all of these disparate sources of information, helping me culminate them for my specific area of expertise, project management, finance, supply chain, whatever my area might be, so that I am a well-informed person, independent of some of the constraints humans go through now. I got to log on to my email. I got to log on to my ticketing system. I've got to attend meetings. I got to log on to Zoom and Teams and all those things. Those are going to become smoother and simpler. You boot up your computer, it knows your calendar, Zoom's already auto-connected, the meeting recording's already going, and it's already put the dossier on the screen of all the people that are attending and what their level of interest is. It already knows what the objectives for the meeting are going to be. It knows how what you accomplish meeting is going to drive the next deliverable for your project. All of those things are already taken care of. And the outcome of the meeting, you don't have those deja vu meetings. Like, didn't we just have a meeting like this last week about the same thing? It's not even about the automation of meeting note capture and agendas and schedules and all those things. It's going to be the next level. It's going to be, I show up knowing that it's feeding this orchestrated engine of all of those components being taken care of for me. So I can use my industry expertise to make decisions and drive the project faster towards success, where before it was so much time in assembly, even with automation. My goodness, how many hours of transcripts do we have for meetings? And we still don't have time, even when it summarizes the action items, to get to them. What if instead it's auto-populating ideas on my calendar? I accept, reject, I culminate. It says, hey, did you want to have a huddle with Amanda? You go ahead and grab that. It's going to orchestrate with you. And I think that's fantastic. So I can talk to my phone, and instead of saying, show me my bank account, it's like, hey, I want to buy this for the kids. Can I afford it? What are the implications? When do I get paid next? It's going to give me answers, right? Right now, we think we have to get an answer by going to a mechanic, logging into a banking app, logging into our email, logging into a social media platform. We're going to start to think in terms of working with it to just get what we want. What am I really? I want a vacation in Hawaii. I don't know anybody. See if I have any friends for me, and let's figure it out. It trolls Facebook. It goes to my social. It checks my personal email, comes back to me with a plan of attack that I can follow. So I think you could scale that. And I'm just really excited about the opportunity to almost have a thinking buddy, if you will, help facilitate all of that stuff beyond just making it easy, mechanically easy with cool tools. It's just going to be done. It's just going to go out there, go to Salesforce, take care of it, come back. I didn't have to learn Salesforce, right? It is my system of truth, so we still use it, but it takes care of the mess. So I think that's where we're headed. So I think the biggest disadvantage of autonomous AI tools is the investment it takes to bring it onto a team, right, or to a culture. So it is the human side, and I don't mean that in a negative way about humans. To me, it's like we've just discovered fire. right? And I know how to use it to cook or to stay warm and use it safely. But everybody else has it, or they ignore it. They don't understand it. I don't have time for that fire thing. It can't help me, whatever. Oh, actually, in fact, one of my, what is it, a Far Side comic or something, where it's a bunch of cavemen pushing a wagon of rocks, but the hubs have squares on them. And there's a guy behind him who just finished chiseling the wheel, right? It's like, guys, this is how it works, right? That's what agentic AI is. You got to stop, man. You got to take time and get the team on the wheel, if you will, so that we can move together. I also think, from a technology standpoint, we can go as fast as we want. That means guardrails are needed. That's why we have to take a breath. Same thing as the fire, right? We discovered fire. Yeah, I could do an amazing barbecue, or I could accidentally burn my house down, right? We do them in a contained barbecue or fire pit for a reason. We have to take that with us on the journey as well. And I mean everything from ethics to privacy and security, or even to human wellness. And this is my favorite topic about, believe it or not, about the pitfall of rapidly evolving AI is human wellness. When is enough? I can produce as much as I want. I'm guilty of this because I love playing with AI tools and experimenting with banana or social media constructs or automating Canva. Like, there's all kinds of fun things. And then I look at my watch and it's 2 a.m. and I've got a 7:30 a.m. meeting. It reminds me of when I was a teenager and had my Nintendo, right? Eventually Nintendo, I think, released something where it says, hey, you've been at this for 3 hours. Why don't you go outside? I use that as an analogy. If we kind of need that for AI and wellness, right? So it's not just that our bosses are going to ask us to be twice as productive and they're going to work us to the grind. It's not like that necessarily. I think we would do it to ourselves. I think we're going to get in there. Like the early days of the internet, we used to surf the net. You just spend hours, or you doom scrolling, right? Same thing. Where's a wellness check? Now, are we adults and should our decision be curbed? No. But I think the technology needs to facilitate boundaries with and for us. And then this gets back to our prior question about the evolution of agentic AI and how exciting it is that it's going to kind of be our buddy and accelerate getting things not just done through a vehicle, but done. It goes and does the Salesforce for me, and it goes and it does the email for me, and it's just done and gives me the answer. I think we need the same thing where it comes up with a plan of wellness and awareness. And says, hey, you've been on a long time. How about we switch gears? If you want me to find a restaurant for you, you don't have to leave what you're doing necessarily, or it's aware of human cognition. We do like variety. We do need a break. That break doesn't have to be from the computer, but your mind has to switch gears to stay fresh. Yeah, you can do meditation and breathing, but that's not for everybody. It could learn from us a style that keeps us a little bit in our physiology and keeps us healthy, keeps posture good and things like that, without it being what we tried to do with, Fitbits and stuff. Not cutting Fitbits or anything, but that's not for everybody. But AI can be something for everybody. That says, you've been at this for a while. I've noticed you're kind of in a thinking cycle. You're going to want to take a break and come at it fresh. How about we switch over to planning for your birthday party, right? And then you can continue the conversation with your agent. So I think that's a pitfall as well. So the big, there's 2 of them. The humans need to be brought into this ecosystem with a sense, like when you get your driver's license, with a sense of responsibility, understanding, common language, and expected common behaviors. We stop at stop signs and red lights. We go at green lights. I think that social understanding is still developing, and we need to invest in that. And then as part of that, the technology needs to facilitate that, those guardrails, those ethics, and those wellness considerations. Thanks.